You leave Max. What's up, dude? This shirt? Yeah.
How are you doing health-wise heading into it?
Good. Yeah, good. We should have everybody ready to go. Available.
What have you thought about the focus this week and how you've come out of the bye?
It's been a great week of practice. I think the bye we were able to get a little bit of a jump start on the game, but at the same time, recover a little bit from the stretch that we've had, and they've been enthusiastic this week. We've practiced hard, and we were in pads 2 days, and they practiced hard. And offense, obviously when you go to the stadium we're going to, you have to prepare for the crowd noise. They've done a nice job with that, and so it'll we have to do it on game day, obviously, but it's been a good week.
How much has Justin Evans progressed in his first year as center? Donovan said he thinks he's one of the best centers in the country, and just how much that helps you in a road game and with a new quarterback to have a guy like that.
Yeah, obviously with Donovan being a center, takes great pride in those guys making protection points and adjustments and things like that. The quarterback obviously can always trump those, but Justin has really grown in those areas. He did a nice job at guard. He's naturally a center. He's aggressive. He's physical, but he's really, really smart. And we're a high volume, pro style offense, right? So he has to do a lot of different things. It'll certainly help us going into this game, and especially with having poise and the noise. You can't have three linemen on one page and two on the other. So Justin's a great anchor in there that the guys respect, and he'll make sure that we have five guys working as one.
On Monday, you described Penn State's pass rush as ferocious, while Danny Dennis Sutton gets most of the recognition. Zane Durant on the interior, what makes him so effective?
He's a great player. He's also extremely relentless. He's athletic. He's a rare inside guy that that can run like a pirate inside movement by the other two guys, and he can come around and he can run down quarterbacks. He's just that level of athleticism. So it really, it's across the board. Their young pass rushers are fantastic. They are a defense built off of pass rush and pressure and tight coverage. So, but yeah, he's just really athletic. He's got great moves. They're really well coached.
Is there any additional advantage to having another week of practice for TJ, having those 2 weeks now between games?
Yeah, I think when you're the two, you watch the other guy do some things, and then you kind of go out there and you can do them. When you're the one, you're the first. You have to execute. You have to go out there and you have to produce, and everyone's watching you, counting on you. So, I think the one main thing I'll always say is I think since the day TJ's gotten here, he's done a good job of, learning, listening, being coachable, and so what he did last 2 games ago, he'll do this week as a product of all of that. But yeah, certainly another week just of hearing play calls. Being the first guy up, I think it certainly has helped him.
We didn't ask you about this earlier, but last week with the younger guys on the roster, were you happy with the work you got done for guys that are redshirting, guys a little bit further down the depth chart? And I guess, is that the way you kind of always approached bye weeks as a head coach, and kind of how you handle those things?
Yeah, this is a little different because it's a 2 bye week year. I think next year goes back to 1. So the early bye week was really about the whole team. But even right now, as I'm here, there's developmental practice going on. We do it every Thursday. It's actually, I had done it differently. It's actually something Coach Holgerson brought. Like, hey, this is how I like to do this on Thursdays, and it's been fantastic. Like, they put their pads on, and they're out there, and they're getting not just team reps, individual reps, routes on air, and then team reps. And so, we believe in that wholeheartedly. When you look at like the explosion that Emmett's made from, kind of sharing time to you think about like last year's bowl game, the tailback was the bowl game MVP, but it wasn't him. And it was Ramir, which we love, and Emmett loved. So now where he's like this featured back, and I walk in, I have a Emmett for Heisman shirt on my desk. It's pretty cool. But that's not a function of something that happened this year. That's a function of just 3 years worth of his work and development, but also kind of the process. So when I look at some of our young players, I see what they're going to be in 2 or 3 or 4 years. The hard part is honestly sometimes they don't see that and they panic. What should I do? But they're going to be really good. And so it just comes down to reps and practice. And that's why last year the bowl game was so important, because they haven't had that here in a long time. Now we'll have bowl practice this year. And to me, it's really an opportunity to accelerate some of these players, because our goal is always that our seniors play their best football when they're here.
Is the nature of college football nowadays, though, is it more difficult to convince guys that, 2 years from now things are ahead for them? Or
100%. I think that's true for coaches, everyone. But at the same time, like I always say to our coaches, like, what is our job? At the end of the day, our job is threefold. In order to win, we have to recruit and attract talented players. We have to make sure that they become the best men possible, and then we have to develop them into the best player possible. So we're going to develop players, and if along the way it just gets too much for them, then so be it. But I can't worry about that. I have to make sure I'm doing my job, and I've always felt like if players feel like they're poured into and taken care of and believed in and developed, most of them will say, so I can't worry about that. I just want to make sure I'm doing a good job coaching and watching our players grow.
With having the 2 bye weeks this year and going back to 1 next year, what have you liked about having 2, and what have you not necessarily?
I don't like having 2.
You don't like it?
It's but I don't care that much. I mean, it's just whatever the schedule is. But just think it makes for a long season, and so. But there's 2 of them, and so we just try to attack one way, and the second one a little bit different way. And so I told them, like, we played 4 games, we had a bye, and then we had a run of, I guess, 5 games, and so that 5 games in the Big Ten, that takes a toll on you, right? And so this bye week came at a really, really good time, and but yeah, it's like playing this week at night, whatever they give me. I've learned that no one actually asks for my opinion, so though I love to give it, but no, so it's just whatever it is, it is.
Allen and Singleton, are they kind of the same style of runner, or do they have different skill sets that you guys have to be aware of when they're on the field?
I think they're both very similar. They both have. I mean, there's not really a weakness to either one, right? And so they're big, powerful, athletic, great vision. They put them both on the field at the same time. So for us, it's really we know how they're good players, so we have to focus on us. And for us, it's our angles, our tackling, winning blocks on the perimeter. They do a great job of getting the ball to the perimeter, and so we have to win out there. So, we have a lot of respect for them. It'll be really great to compete with them.
Fans might look at your schedule, see the California wing and then the traditional Big Ten wing kind of split here in November. Do you notice that dichotomy in your game plans as well?
So it's a good question. Certainly there's differences in the weather. Like we were at UCLA. Like my 2 daughters flew back with us, and they were in shorts and t-shirts. And we got off at, people think Lincoln, that this is called the Cole's Place, and Lincoln's actually I think the runway strip at the airport. And so we got off, and it was brutal. So certainly the weather was a factor, but people don't give USC due credit in my mind for the way they run the football. I mean, they're a power running team, and UCLA with kind of how they were playing, they're running the team, running the quarterback. So I think there's a lot of similarities. The crowd noise going on the road, I think, is one of the biggest things that we have to deal with here. And then USC has great pass rushers, like Penn State, 4- and 5-star guys up and down the lines. And so, we just take each game kind of one at a time. And, hey, what do we need to do this week? And try to stick to who we are. But, it's really unique now in the Big Ten, just sort of just the diversity that you see.
Matt, these next
Travel schedule.
We'll leave tomorrow. Like, I think it's like we'll practice in the morning. I think we leave a plane that takes off at 1, which means we'll get there at their time around 5. So, then from there our normal thing. We went early to Maryland really because of the drive and travel, and then I got back really late, and not really late, but late-ish. I don't know if I love that or not, but I really like UCLA going out the day before. Like I want to be home as much as possible and get back as soon as possible. So.
Now, these next 6 weeks, you've got player agents wanting to renegotiate or shopping their guys, a lot of tampering, a lot going on behind the scenes before the portal opens. How do you kind of manage how messy this kind of might get in December?
Yeah, that's why we hired Pat Stewart, and Logan and Keith Williams and all those guys. And at the end of the day, I think the first priority is retaining the players on your team that you feel like should be here, and providing vision for the others. And I know there's some new rules are starting to come out now. We're starting to get trickled here about this, here about that. So it's going to be a unique, changing time. Last year we lost some players that I really cared about and liked, and but we brought in some really good ones too. And so for me, it's going to be about our own guys, and then the signing class in December, and then the portal, and there's like, to your point, there really is no rules. Like the NFL, they have like the legal tampering period, and so it is what it is. We'll attack it and just try to be the best at it.
You have a recommendation or two for Husker fans spending Saturday in State College? What do you mean?
Yeah, much of I haven't been there for a long time. In terms of as a person, I do want to say this because this upsets Julie. I was invited back to Liberal Arts College as a distinguished alum, and my wife was like, my grades were so much better than your grades. You're only doing this because you're a football coach. I said, but they invited me, so you have to come with me. So, but no, the Creamery is always a great stop. The ice cream at the Creamery is always probably a great stop. And the Tavern downtown, great restaurant. It's been there. But other than that, man, I think everything else has probably changed a lot since I was there. There were some old bars and haunts that maybe Julie and I went to, but some of them are probably still there. Who knows?
Is the Chili's still there?
No, the Chili's is not there. Nope, the Chili's not there. I think maybe now it's Champs or something like that. But that was always someplace we'd go back to. But it's not there anymore. All right, thanks guys.